Oh, it's just signs on it's already
I know, I didn't bring any snacks.
What is happening?
Right, sure. Sure, is that right?
Yeah, you're right.
No, we're good. Well, we have one resolution, two short presentations, one 5 minutes.
I mean, just putting Taco Bell.
Which one is it? Usually. Yeah, it's an illustration. It's hard to do, right? It's kind of.
They were looking at some kind of area. I mean, there's a long time. They're really close to the edge. Yeah. I mean, there's like tree line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Move my bag. I'll be back.
You heard me.
I'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna set a timer.
I don't know with all these people. What is,
Thanks.
what's happening?
I feel like I was.
The deceptions.
I'm gonna try.
We are live on YouTube, just so you know.
Oh.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know.
I've been talking about everything else. So I'm going tomorrow. Well,
All right. Good evening, everybody. We're gonna start the meeting. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. This is the Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 meeting of the Village Board of Trustees. I know for the record that we normally have our meetings on Thursday, but because of a couple of different conflicts, we had to move it this week. I will also note for the record that we do not currently have the presence of the village attorney, Dennis Michaels, who was going to be serving in the capacity of, he's the attorney for one of the other municipalities, and they have their meetings tonight. He'll be coming at some point later tonight. He'll be coming in case we need something for him. We can always ask him when he gets here. For the introduction, it's a very light agenda today. We have only one resolution, one action item. We do have a couple of presentations. Andy Stewart's going to give a presentation on the New York State Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which is otherwise known as the DRI, which is a large grant process, and we'll explain it. I'm going to give a very short explanation of the Nyack Holiday Village project, which is getting launched and which we approved some funding for at the last meeting, but people want to hear just a little bit more color about it, so we're going to give that tonight. And other than that, we do have, we're leading and we move public comment up in case people, we have a list, Linda, of who signed up? We'll take public comments at the beginning. How many people are on the list?
4.
All right, so we'll
Well,
get
actually,
up
it's like
to,
3.
is there anybody else that wants to get on the list that's here right now? So please come on up.
No,
Your name
no,
and state.
Susan and Sharon.
Your name on the
They're both
list.
DRI people, so Shirley.
Okay.
Is there anybody else? All right, we're also going to be having public comment at the end of the meeting. And we'll also we generally allow public comment during the discussion of action items, and we'll do the same during the presentation. So if anybody has questions during the presentation, wants to ask them, feel free to ask them. The public comment is your opportunity to just
Those guys
make
are
a statement or address the board in some way. And you want to put 2 minutes, we have about 5 or 6 people, put 2 minutes on, and everybody will have 2 minutes. And if you wish to speak at the end, you can, we'll have another 2-minute session at the end of the meeting. So let's start. Who's first on the list?
Shirley Swan.
Just give your name and tell us what municipality, if you live in the village or not in the village.
I'm Central Nyack,
Central Knox.
Nyack Village. Maybe the button.
Hello?
Yes. My name's Shirley Swan. I want to just ask about the construction that's going on Willow Avenue. What are they building over there? Or what are they cutting down behind Walden Terrace? Did we find out yet?
Behind what? You're talking about the,
Behind McDonald's, Walden
you're talking about
Terrace?
you're talking about the, where they're sort of cutting into the,
Into the mountain
It's the
there,
mountain
that's
there.
under Walden Terrace.
do we know what
Farmers.
they're building? I know we looked at it when I was up there at Waldron Terrace for a meeting about a month ago. And they may be aware of the issue. We did talk to I did talk to the chief building inspector, who said that all the work was permitted and it was all on the property of the person who was doing it. What they're doing though, do we know?
It's
I-
Clarkstown, huh?
No,
No, it's
here.
Village of Nyack.
Village of Nyack, where it's got permitted by us for the work to be done. I don't know that he's doing anything other than shoring up the property.
I don't know what the project, all I know is that we were assured by the building department, they've inspected it. The work is to code and within the property parameters, et cetera. Because I know some neighbors have been concerned that maybe they
Yeah,
were,
we were concerned because it's cutting right up under Walden Terrace by its
Right.
fence and pulling down those, breaking roots of those old trees.
right.
That we were afraid that water run.
I'll tell you what
there.
we'll do is I
So
will,
we're questioning,
let's check with the building inspector, take another look at that
Okay.
property and make sure that, you know, it does look really kind of scary. Like
Yeah.
I've been by and it looks like
safe.
something's going wrong, that I don't want to see a mudstorm or rainstorm and all of a sudden we've got a slide.
because we get up on that hill, we get a lot of water because we get flooded around our apartments and stuff, so.
Now, the
The question
buildings
is-
are set back. There's no
Do we-
building right on the edge of the.
No, there's just like, you got a fence,
It's a
and you got
parking lot.
maybe 5 feet, you have 5-10 feet from the fence, yes.
Okay, all right, well, can you,
I just want to know too, what's.
can you
what
make
it
sure
is.
Linda has your phone number and we'll reach out to you to let you know specifically since you brought it up.
Sure.
We'll try to get some information and we'll let you know what we find out, okay?
So you live in Walden Terrace?
Yes.
So you are from the village?
Yeah, you live in the village, you live in the village.
I still live in the village, central.
Not Central now, well, it's,
Well, I'm in, okay. They changed all
It's
that.
in the
So,
village.
I'm in the village tonight,
village now, yeah.
Walden Terrace.
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right, next up,
Oh, she has a list.
make sure the phone number's not put into the public record or anything, just for us.
Okay, maybe we said so. Oh, that's mine.
Linda, who's next?
Reverend
Is
Joseph.
that construction being done? Waldron?
No, it's being done.
Wait,
It's being done in the back of, what's the supermarket there? Seymour, yeah, it's being done in the back of Seymour.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on, yes, it's on the street, it's in the back of his building.
back in school.
Back in his building. I'll show you on the map there if you want to see it.
Green.
Yes, please, Scott.
I'm not too sure. I think I'm gonna follow what's going on, but I had come to the village administrator, and we had a conversation concerning about community outreach program we were trying to do outdoors, try to let the community know about the churches that are in the area, what we're offering in terms if they would like to come. This was supposed to be done, I had made the request for the 19th, which is a Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. And we were looking to see if we could do something at the gazebo, some music, talking to the public, passing out flyers. So we wanted to know if we had permission to do that. This will be on the 19th.
There's no conflict with any other event. I'm happy to work with the pastor to collect his insurance and stuff like that.
Okay,
Just typically the village board approves those events and that's why he's here tonight.
when did it first come up?
We started talking about a week or so ago.
Okay.
He's asking for October 19th, which is before your next meeting. So I'm trying to put a resolution on your agenda.
Anybody have an objection?
No.
No,
I don't object, we just said, you notice the Oktoberfest is that big, right?
Yes, that's over on Franklin Street, yeah.
but, and that's, what time is this gonna be?
From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
There will definitely overlap that for part of that. Yeah, just be aware there's an event going on Franklin Street
Okay.
the same day, which will probably have music, but it shouldn't have any significant, other than the fact there'll be a little noise in the background, you should be okay.
All right, all right.
And if you decide because of that, you want to do a different day, just to get back to Andy. Andy, you have, everybody good with giving Andy the authority to set
Yep.
time, date, and
Yep.
manner?
Thanks.
All right.
All right, you're good to go.
Have a wonderful event.
Thank you.
Doesn't all that be reset?
Yep.
No.
it's not.
It does not want to be reset.
Bobby Gordon.
I just have a question about the agenda because online here on the Facebook page, it says that they're gonna be discussing the Angel of the Main Streetscape, John Greenhouse and Nycart.
Yes.
Right. but
That's all
on
part of the
here-
presentation. It's all part of the Andy Stewart NIX application in New York State, revised downtown revitalization. It's
Okay,
part of that
so it's just
discussion.
some chatter here, so.
Yeah.
We were just making sure it's on.
Yep, it's happening.
Thank you.
That's it.
I thought there were like 4 or 5 people.
No, because the other two are here with Andy.
They're here to talk about Andy. Okay, so let's get, if anybody does have other public comment, if you have something related to one of the presentations, you can just make the comment. If not, you can do it at the end of the meeting, where there'll be open public comment. Andy, go ahead. You make your presentation
Let's
on
grab
the
that.
downtown revitalization.
Hi, folks. Andy Stewart, Village Administrator. I'm kind of coordinating the effort to submit the village's annual application for the kind of the big New York State Economic Development Prize, which is called the DRI. It's worth about $4.5 million if we get it. Our mission is to submit about $6 to $8 million worth of projects that the state might fund. They can be on private property or public property, and they have to foster employment and tourism and economic development and so on. We're working on a portfolio worth about $6 to $7 million right now. I have about 4 presenters coming here tonight just to talk a little bit about what projects they're looking for funding to be included in our project. Just for a little bit of background, if we succeed in the first stage where the state says, we love your portfolio projects, it looks like they're pretty shovel ready and feasible, and fit with the region's economic development goals. If we get that through that level, then the state will say, now gather together your committee, we're going to assign you a planning consultant, and we're going to review for feasibility each project. Project may go ahead, it may get changed or fall out. New projects may come through in that process. So what we're trying to do right now is establish a portfolio to get us traction on the first stage of the competition. So thanks to our presenters who are here tonight and the village board for taking a little minute to hear what these guys have to say. It's pretty exciting stuff. I want to start with Drazen, because he's a planner in the village and also has provided kind of a comprehensive, thoughtful approach to our Main Street streetscape. And so he has a couple of images he would like to show that would be part of our portfolio for submission. Drazen, why don't you come up? Oh, sorry, I'm going kind of fast, so.
No, that's okay, but we
So-
can go.
So we just have presentations on several of our projects, not all of them tonight, so. Microphone's yours.
You want me to do the buttons, right?
Yeah, please. So, good evening, everyone. And everyone listen. Okay, let me,
He's stand over here. He's stand over here.
yeah, we could do it here, yeah.
Thanks.
So just a little correction, I'm not a planner, I'm just an architect. But we do have some experience with urban planning, so that's where this ideas come from. So if you would please go ahead with so the main concept here is to improve the walkability in the village. And we have just a medley of different ideas that we would appreciate everybody's comment, the board's comments as well as your comments on what do you think about them. The primary focus is to improve the walkability from the downtown down to the river, which is still somewhat neglected, and we've obviously like to make it a little bit more alive. So the walkable Main Street to the river is one of the elements. Then a walkable River Street, and if you don't know, that's down on the bottom of the Main Street is the River Street. It's perpendicular. Improvements to Gedney Street. Connect various places of interest in the downtown, such as the RCC Culinary Arts Center, which I'm sure you all know, John Green Historical House down on Main Street, Claremont Pier, which hopefully will get some new tourist boats there, the River Park, which may be part of a private development, the New River Club restaurant that the village is working on, the Spear Street restaurant, which is already there, the marina, and the memorial park. So we have many assets already in the village. And many times I've heard that it would be nice to be able to walk along the river, walk up to the downtown. So thank you, Andy. So this is a little bit hard to read on this scale. We can enlarge this if necessary, but I'll briefly describe the key elements. What Andy has proposed, and I think it's a nice idea, to improve.
Did that help?
Yeah, so over here we have the Main Street from Broadway to Cedar Street. So what was proposed here is that we change the paving. Actually, I'll just show the map and then we'll go through the details because I have some illustrations which are much easier to understand in this map. So this initiative extends from Cedar Street, which is up here, down Main Street, to Gedney, to this private development, to Claremont Pier, but also to improve the connectivity between all of these different places along the river. And hopefully if this park gets built, then this connectivity as well. So then there are two slides here, and let me just tell you because it's hard to read. This first slide shows the Main Street as a one-way street down, not a two-way street, which is what we have now, but one-way street down, one-way River Street, and back up Bird Street. What that would allow, the primary reason for that would be to be able to plant the trees along the Main Street, change the sidewalks so that it becomes a much more walkable Main Street down to the river, much more inviting, much more pedestrian friendly, so that the people who already visit Nyack say, hey, maybe we should go down there, explore and so on, and vice versa. Now, there was please next slide.
I think that's the next one.
That's the next one, okay. So there were some people who already said, well, that may be a hard sell, two-way street changing into one-way street. As you know, we have plenty of one-way streets in the village. So in case that is too radical proposal, we can do some of this with a two-way, keeping the Main Street as a two-way street, but just a little bit less landscaping, a little bit less of the pretty things, but we can still improve that Main Street connection down to the river. So if you would go to the next slide, I think that the remaining slides are easier to understand. So what was proposed for the Main Street between Cedar and Broadway is to change the paving into more pedestrian-friendly paving. This is example of Pratt Street in Hartford. This is Burlington, Vermont, where each of these streets is regular traffic street, one-way, two-way traffic, I don't know. And then on certain days, some on weekends, some on certain hours, closes and events happen. So the proposal here for Nyack is that on Saturdays and Sundays, or Fridays and Saturdays, in the evening, let's say from 5 to 7 or 9, something like that, that section from Cedar to Broadway closes and becomes this. It becomes the outdoor dining, it becomes concert, it becomes a pedestrian venue. And again, you can obviously do this with asphalt, which is there right now, but it's far more effective if you have improved surfaces on the street. Next slide, please. Another thing that was brought up, it was a long discussion, but there are a couple of intersections that are kind of accident prone. And those are obviously the Main and Broadway, Cedar and Main, and also from personal experience, Bird and South Broadway. These are the examples of traffic calming devices. This one is, I think, Burlington. I don't know where this is. So changing the asphalt into colored asphalt, different materials and so on, does tend to slow traffic on those intersections, which we know get more accidents or are just very heavily trafficked, like Main and Broadway. So that's another element which we're proposing 3 intersections to be treated this way. Next. Nyack RCC is one of those destinations, nodes that we already have in the village that we are trying to connect. So as we go down the main street. So here is the example, and by the way, here is a little key map so that you know which area we're talking about. So this is Main Street. There's a lot of different ways to do that Main Street. This is an example of what it would be if it was one way down. One way down allows you to get on Gedney, allows you to get on River Street, and then go up Bird Street. So that would allow us, one possibility is still keeping parking on the side of this, and then having trees planted and new improved sidewalks. Another possibility, the more radical, is to just eliminate parking altogether, but give it more breadth to the sidewalks and to the landscape plantings. I'm sorry, I'm turning my back to you guys. So there are many different things that we can discuss tonight, and obviously it's a little bit more lengthy subject, but that's kind of the idea. Let's have some green areas that have improved, wider sidewalks, and minimize traffic. Please go ahead. So here are just some illustrations. As we were working on, we produced a variety of them. Here we are looking up Main Street, and you see some possibilities for improvement. It's a little bit hard to read. It's a quick sketch, but you see the colored asphalt. You see improved sidewalks, green areas, banners, and things like that. All part of the streetscape design that would come in this package. Next slide, please. Then we have the River Park, which will, as I say, hopefully happen as a part of the development down on the bottom of the Main Street. That's already designed and approved. Next one. So the Claremont Pier, this is a private property, and village has, I believe, easement or some rights over this. So there were various proposals in the past made. How do we get people to this pier? It's because of the depth of the water, it's very hard to get any serious boats there. So a proposal that Mark from RCC is working, Mark Davidov, I'm sorry, from RCC is working on, is to get the tourist boats offshore, and then with the small boats, people are transported to the Claremont Pier. So some improvements on this pier, obviously there are a variety of lighting and some surface improvements, but in addition to this, it would be nice to have like the end node, the the pavilion there, a welcoming pavilion for people coming to the pier. The entrance to the pier would be improved anyhow as part of this project, but it can be undertaken at any time. And that may be a part of this application as well. Next slide. So we're just going through these different ideas that we have for the walkability improvements. The River Street, as you know, is a relatively new street. I think it's only been here for about 40 years. It's not heavily trafficked, and it will be relatively easy to turn this street into a one-way street going south. Get extra width that can be then used for the improved sidewalk and landscaping and lighting on the street, and again, banners and so on. That's a relatively easy project to implement. The River Club is something that Andy and the village board have been working on diligently. And it's certainly a key element of this project. The new restaurant is here sketched and here is schematic plan. Because we need as many anchors down on the river as you can. And these like Macy's and I don't know, Sears were anchors to the shopping malls. Here we need as many anchors down on the river to attract the pedestrian traffic down to the river. Next slide.
Let's just point out that this site, the seawalls that hold up that piece of land are falling down, and so we're asking for the money to reestablish a good steel seawall around the site, and also some to improve the frontage there with a little bit of a expansion of the park as well.
This is just a small little element. So this is the parking, I guess it's called Spear Street parking or whatever the name may be down by Marina. Right now we have 2 entrances and exits. It's pretty heavily trafficked. A small proposal is to limit the traffic to only 1 entrance into this. Do not change the layout of this, which is fairly economical, and create a little pocket park here in front of the new River Club restaurant. So again, minimize traffic, improve walkability, improve crossing the street here, the Bird Street, and then also change paving as we go over to the bridge down to Memorial Park. Some of this is in place already, but we can do other improvements now. Or proposing. This is just a view down Bird Street to that area. And you see, obviously, possibly, hopefully the new River Club restaurant, the pocket park, the crossing here, which would then become a part of this walkway along Hudson River. This is the break wall around Marina. This is already fairly improved. We do have nice park here that was created some years ago. We're suggesting to add a few more things. For now, we are just drawing a pavilion here and another little lighthouse. But that could also be perfect places for artwork, which we would like to introduce possibly here, possibly in other places along these walkways. And then the last slide. So Andy has suggested very well that as we do these walkways down Main Street and along Hudson River, that we can incorporate some nice elements such as in front of New York Public Library, the bronze plaques, which could be, again, at intervals along the walk that commemorate various events or significance of something in the village. And then, of course, art sculptures as well. So that's all I have for tonight. I don't want to belabor this. Thank you.
And he did that for free, by the way.
Wow.
Thank you, Drazen. Appreciate your effort. A lot of the folks have stepped up. Some were in the room tonight who also put a lot of work into this application. Yes, sir, we have a question behind you.
I would like to see. I love the idea of, encouraging walkways, all of that. I think it would be great to, incorporate, some sort of self-guided historical walking tour, with a series of, I don't know what to call it. If you've been over by the community garden, there's one, something like that. That gives kind of history of the area, whether it's what's it called, the St. George Hotel, or where the ferry used to be at the bottom of Main Street. You have a little historic blurb and some old photos or illustration. There's also one now in front of the old stone meeting house, I think it's called in Upper Nyack.
And I saw the video. And I think it's very well done in Nyack so far, and it could be something.
But it could really be expanded as part of this, not just the new stuff, but, there's so much history here. I mean, obviously,
We got a lot of hands up over here. We have 3 more presentations to do, so, start in the back.
Yes, first of all, congratulations to everyone involved. It looks like a wonderful plan. A lot of work went into it. Congratulations. And I love the idea of walking. I'm a big walker myself. I walk the town all the time. You've probably seen me out there. Not everybody is. Has any thought been given to some kind of maybe shuttle of a kind of a nature? I mean, horse and buggy is
In short,
that's
yes.
a big, but something like a little golf cart kind of thing where we can get people who are less capable of walking the hills to get
You
them down.
read the mayor's mind because he's actually developed a proposal for the Hopper shuttle. And our little park in front of the River Club would be a perfect spot for that to pull in and then take people up the hill.
Okay.
Did
Give you $50 afterwards for bringing that. Yeah, that's, we're looking at doing a shuttle, which would actually, it'll be a little bit more, it would actually go up all of Main Street, all of 59. And to go back and forth all day long, taking people up and down the hill, because the hill is an obstacle to people being able to explore the downtown. And from the waterfront and the waterfront from the downtown. Once you get some more questions, I mean, more.
I'm gonna keep working my, Roger's the president of the chamber, just so folks know.
That's a very persuasive and thorough presentation. Thank you very much. I wanted to correct one point that you made. River Street is very heavily traveled. Giant trucks come in, they're feeding the restaurants that are there, they're going back up Bird Street. It's very heavily traveled by very heavy trucks.
Feeding the restaurant, the great catering you're talking about.
I should,
The
River Street.
River
Right
Street.
between Main
Right.
and Bird.
Right. Okay, I didn't realize that.
right, and the residents there, of which Roger is one, would definitely have some.
Well, come on down, I'll show you.
Yes, ma'am.
I think these guys
Okay, sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
I live on Getney Street, and it's a lovely street, and this is a wonderful presentation. But with that disaster that's on the corner, that has been there forever and a day. I mean, it's like almost, why bother if we're not gonna be doing something about that land that is just sitting there? And it's awful. And I know there are all sorts of legal issues, but certainly at this point, something should be done that we can move ahead.
Got my fingers crossed. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's a wonderful presentation, and I just have one thing. I very frequently go up to Haverstraw and take the ferry across to Austin. And it is amazing how many people come up to Austin, take the ferry. They have a bus there, takes them into downtown Haverstraw. If we could get a ferry to come across from Tarrytown, you will get so many day trippers. I mean, it's amazing. They come with their bikes, they come with strollers, and they come for the day, and that brings the people. And in Haverstraw, when you get off, the town is not there. Here, you get off in Nyack, and the town is there. And it's just a suggestion if that could be incorporated in any way.
I'm here.
These other individuals here, the young lady and the gentleman over there, jumped to the point where I jumped up about reintroducing the ferry system, which is a great system because we already opened up a walkway you know what, so instead of the walkway, the ferry, because as Rajan was saying, make it like a place where people can dock their boats, and we already have the pier right there and also the marina, so people can dock and come from the marina. The park idea is an amazing idea that would draw in tons of people. The restaurant concept, I believe it would be an amazing thing to draw in people walking around along the river. One question is, with that shut off of, you know, what the roads, how would that affect, you know, what the fire department? For example, the one section that, we're talking about down Main Street and doing the one way, that's where Mazeppa is. You know, so if Mazeppa has to fly uptown, are they driving down to get me and having to go around, or, would they make like a switch where, you know what, the fire department can skip out and jump and go the long way?
Great question.
And secondly, with the buggy aspect, or the go-karts, as you're saying, it's a great idea because we do have the historical aspects as we were building up all the way from the railroad to, you know what, all the other establishments, Upper Nyack and, well, what used to be South Nyack. I think, that.
It's still South Nyack, it still exists as a place.
Oh, I thought they called it just a hamlet now.
It's a hamlet, but it's still South Nyack, it's the hamlet of South Nyack.
It's like the Tappan Zee. The Tappan Zee is still Tappan Zee. Yeah, exactly. But that's a great way to bring in because we do have so many restaurants that are dying in that section. And park aspect can really bring in something. But how about a concept of giving priority to people that live in Nyack to that aspect the same way like Congress Lake, for example? We're not allowed to go to Congress Lake because we live in Nyack. Well, maybe Upper Nyack, you guys are lucky and not you get to go to Congress Lake. But it's, you know, having an exclusive thing first for the community to build a community pride as we keep on building up across the board.
Thank you so much for those comments. We do have a number of other presentations we gotta get through, so I wanted to invite, we're talking about history, Chris Sorensen, can you give us a few minutes? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think this is a great foundation for where we're headed, but my biggest disconnect is Main Street, right? South Broadway looks amazing, you come up Main Street, it's terrible, right? So if we're gonna, like, this is a great idea to feed people, maybe possibly get a ferry, but again, what are we gonna do about Main Street and all the empty properties and?
So that's a great question. We actually have more in the portfolio that more targets Upper Main Street. For example, a small business grant fund that would be good for facades. You see a number of deteriorated facades as you go up the hill on Main Street. Also a village-wide mural program. There's a couple, we have someone here tonight to talk about that. I'll show you a couple of locations where we could really do something pretty visually amazing. So, but yeah, Upper Main Street definitely needs help. Chris, could you give us a few words about the John Greenhouse?
So this actually cuts in with topic that was just brought up. My name is Chris Sorensen. I'm the Vice President of the Board of the, my name is Chris Sorensen, and I'm the Vice President of the John Green Preservation Coalition, which hasn't been mentioned, the John Greenhouse yet, but it really is smack in the middle of everything that we've been talking about. And ultimately, we envision this house as being a drawing point for Lower Main Street. It's it's the second house coming up away from the river, up away from the Claremont Towers. Drazen and his company have made contributions to our effort, which we appreciate very much. So what's the story? Well, our group was founded back in 2015, and the village was just about ready to condemn the John Greenhouse because it was falling down, and it was a danger. But there were people who wanted to save it. So our principal reason for being was to preserve this unique historic sandstone house. Now, you wouldn't have known necessarily that it was sandstone because in the early 1800s when it was built, somebody had the bright idea of covering it with cement or stucco and painting it yellow. Some of you may remember that, but there is this remarkable sandstone structure underneath. So 2015, yeah, you have a question?
What's the address for that?
23 Main Street. It's the second house coming up from the river, above, on the way, starting with Claremont Towers. I'm sorry.
Next to the law.
Next to
the law, across from Gettings.
Yes, exactly. Pretty much directly across from Denver. So, started in 2015, we acquired the property for free. We got a grant, we had help from Grayson's firm, I want to mention that again, we got a grant from the state to put a roof on the building. We've received several other grants, we've raised somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 so far with 4 different grants and contributions from local supporters. We emptied out the inside of the building, all the modern touches, and we reached our first major step forward that people can really see last year when we finished the northern facade of the building. So if you walk down Gedney Street towards the building, you see this wonderful old sandstone house instead of the yellow thing being held up by all the wooden beams. So let me just see.
Chris.
Yeah.
You got a couple of changes. Okay, so we're putting about $500,000 in to finish the John Greenhouse restoration.
Yes.
It's a key amenity on Lower Main Street as we walk down the hill. If we get the plan defined by Johnson, it'll make a really nice way for people to get to the John Greenhouse. So the John Greenhouse will have an exhibit space, a public place of congregation to look at Nyack history.
I couldn't have said it better. Yeah, no, we see it as a place for people to go so that they can appreciate the building. Nyack people, tourists, when they come down the river or if they want to see this building. And gallery space on the ground floor and the studio space upstairs to pay the bills. That's basically the story. All right. Thank you, Andy.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if you mentioned this, Captain John Green was the founder of the Nyack Ferry Service across the river.
No,
Oh, no.
no.
Why was he a captain?
He was captain of sloops that went up and down the Hudson River, bringing northern New York stuff down to the big city and big city stuff back up to the north. And he made a lot of money and he has a very, very prime spot in the Oakland, in the cemetery above Niagara, because he was really very good one.
And also a founder of the Nyack Turnpike, which is what gets us to the mall.
Route 59.
We came to 59, but before it was one big swamp. So thank you, Chris. I'm gonna move on to Susan Wilming. Susan is the protagonist of the Angel Nyack project, a wedding, business, pub, and new performing arts place in the First Reformed Church. I'll look for your presentation.
Looking for the presentation. I was just looking over your shoulder and you can see pretty much where there was a theater right next to the church. So the church that we're talking about is the First Reformed Church, which is also the home of Soup Angels for the last 20 years. I see some of you guys here. And that was a theater that was right next door. And so we're kind of gonna do a mashup instead. We're gonna bring the, as Jill likes to say, bring the lights onto Broadway. So the idea started about 3 years ago when First Reformed Church came and they said, you know, we just don't have the wherewithal to keep up with this giant historical building. And so a group of us, we have a board of 6 and it's going to grow to about 11, kind of rallied and said, okay, we really want to make sure that this beautiful historic building has a purpose and remains in the community. And certainly the church was very impassioned about saying we want to make sure that whatever happens, that Soup Angels continues and lives out their mission. And so a lot of groups went through, we talked about possible concepts for the space, and we came to the realization that everybody is still clamoring in Nyack for a larger performing arts space. That is a wish that is deep and it goes into all sorts of spaces that, so this actually is large enough for the larger sanctuary spaces, has seating for 300 people. So that's a nice size for performing arts. But we quickly became aware that the performing arts will probably not pay the roof for the roof to stay on either. So we looked for another part of that story. And that's when we landed on weddings. And we started doing a little bit more research about how Nyack does weddings, how Rockland does weddings, how much attention we get versus everybody else in the wedding biz. Up and down the Hudson, we formed the Nyack Wedding Collective. We did more research. We met a lot of the vendors. It's a wonderful space because you have so many small businesses involved that are all here local. So you can think the floors and the photographer and the card maker and the this and that and the caterer. So we thought that that was a really nice fit for our downtown. It's also not so
it's a nice addition to the performing arts because the space is almost the same, right? So getting a bride ready for a wedding is very similar to getting a show ready, so a lot of their needs are the same. So a greenhouse becomes, sort of your dressing room for the couple. And I mean, your green room, Mercer. So our goal is to preserve and modernize this beautiful historic church. And we want to make it sort of available for the community for generations to come, to foster the arts in the flexible state-of-the-art venue, to host extraordinary weddings and other joyful celebrations and bring joy to the town, and to support Soup Angels in serving meals with dignity and kindness to our neighbors in need, and to be an economic driver for our downtown. Because we feel like between the performing arts and weddings, that means a lot of people coming to town that are going to spend the night. They're going to go to the restaurants, they're going to go do all the great things and light up Main Streets and help support Main Street. So this is the Bird Street side of the building. This is where you can kind of see, according to, we went forward and we got renderings and we have a complete design kit. We made the investment to really understand the building. We've explored this building to the nth degree. It's a wonderfully maintained building, thanks to Jill and all the crew there. So it's a building that truly is not the kind of thing, like you'll find a lot of historic buildings that need really just getting back to some sort of a state, but it's a beautiful space inside. I'm sorry I didn't include images so you can see what it looks like right now. But this is where it leans into the performing arts side. So this is on Bird Street, and it would be a way to really bring a lot of light and a lot of interest to Bird Street and connect back to the parking lot back there. So for the performing arts, you're very close to the parking lot and also for weddings, so people can park back there and walk over. It's also sort of a nice channel, let's say if you ever did a ballet or something like that. So that's the Bird Street side, and on the inside, this is pretty much what the space looks like, with the addition of these acoustic panels that light up and the lighting that will be on the steel array that is already in the space. So a lot of it has to do with lighting, and so our proposal for this particular grant is all about this space, all about the sanctuary. There are other beautiful spaces in this building, but this one in particular needs extra help. After we went through the bidding process of finding out what that cost, we recognize now that we do need the help of a larger grant. So we've already run some mini weddings here and done some ceremonies just to sort of get a taste and flavor for what that's like. We have lots of nice photographs, thanks to local photographers that are talented. So the investments that you'll see on the next one, these are some, then what we'd like to do is really bring weddings to Nyack. So when we think that Nyack as a village offers a lot of really fun and interesting things for couples so that grandma can do something while the little kids are doing something. And it's just a nice gathering place for a couple to celebrate. And these were all, and you might recognize that guy. That was at the Opera House. And so this couple got married up at the Upper Plateau. And these guys got married. Theirs was called the Very Nyack Wedding because they did everything in Nyack. They bought jewelry here. They had their pancake breakfast at Strawberry Place. They did, for the brides, for the groomsmen. And you can find these pieces about these guys on the, if you go to visit Nyack, there's a section on wedding resources and there's profiles of two of these couples, not these guys. But anyway, so we would like to leverage and really bring lots of interest to getting married in Nyack. That's good. This is, we're the recipient already for the last 2 years of a campaign to manage that for the county, for Rockland County Tourism, and it's called Marry Me in Rockland. And there's an idea guide, if you look online, you can find it as well, with lots of ideas around Rockland. So the idea is also to leverage other sites in Rockland. And so a lot of the when we're making an economic development plea, it's all about really bringing a lot of energy into the region, not just to Nyack, but also into the region, because all the photographers are from somewhere. But it's about 6,000 visitors just alone for what we anticipate for weddings at the Angel Nyack, and 6,000 visitors to downtown that are staying overnight is a significant contribution. And that's a low projection. So this is what it would be looking like. So the sanctuary right now has these beautiful curved pews. Those will be removed so that we can make it multi-purpose. That would allow us to put tables in different configurations and also to set it up for the performing arts in different ways. So we're partners with Arts Rock, with Music for Life and others in the art space. And on the wedding side, we worked with a lot of vendors to really understand kind of what the needs of the room are. Keep going. This is the back of the building. There's a large, what looks kind of like a schoolhouse on the backside. It's a modern, sort of very classic space. That's going to be converted into spaces that are useful for both the weddings and for, as a green room, for example, for the performing arts. This is the picking room. This is actually where Soup Angels takes place right now. So it's hard for you guys to imagine it this sort of glamorama. But that's if we get some money, we could go down this path. So this is would be a bar that would be lit up, and obviously during Soup Angels, that's not there. This is what it would look like for Soup Angels, for example, or could look like for Soup Angels. And a lot of this is dependent on the funding that we get, but you get the basic idea. This is where normally the food comes out. So you can see these are also panels that kind of make everything disappear. It's also a big part of the plan is to make it accessible. We work with Arc of Rockland. They used to be in this space and they support Soup Angels in a lot of things. And we also work with Music for Life, and really it was important to us that anybody that comes to a wedding or performance has accessibility, and even the performers have an easier time with mobility around the building. So we're hoping that we're super thankful that we're being considered as one of the projects for New York Forward. It is very critical to get this funding. We have, at this point, we have $1.2 million raised to go towards the renovations, but that's really kind of the tip of, unfortunately, we thought it would be getting us a lot further, but with the cost of construction and everything that's gone bananas, it's not quite getting us that far. So with that million, we would like to do basically those things to the sanctuary and make it really something that the village can be proud of, and that you all can benefit from and enjoy as much as you can. Hopefully you can have every one of your milestone birthdays there and whatever celebrations, but a lot of it is going to be hopefully happening in the next few years. So if you have any questions.
Andy, maybe you should explain the difference. Maybe you could explain the difference between the downtown revitalization initiative and New York Forward.
So the trustee is referring to different levels of this grant. The downtown revitalization is a $10 million prize. New York Forward is 4.5. We're going for the 4.5. The state gives out 2 of those per region per year versus 1 of the other. And frankly, our project portfolio is more like the New York Forward level of ask anyway. Susan, that was a wonderful presentation.
It really was.
It's really inspiring to see you guys are doing.
When we get married.
We won't do vows, do it. Are you?
I'll tell Ron.
Renewed vows.
Yeah, renewed vows. Renewed vows. Yes, you can do that.
I think it was a great presentation. I haven't been in that church when it was active in a really long time, and it's just, I forgot how beautiful it was and what it could be. It's really beautiful. The plan to have a space like that, because we really don't. Everything happens at the Night Center, which we're all grateful for, and that's great. But this is another level of a venue.
That's what we're thinking, and honestly, they're so compatible, and we're constantly sending people each way. The same with Hopper House and all the things that are happening around Hopper House. Our vision is that we can offer all sorts of different things,
nice.
And then if somebody's got Friday open, they could do something there, and
then maybe some kind of community calendar, so like when these are going on, they're not like overlapping everybody else, so you don't know which thing to go to. So, but I think that was really beautiful, that vision for that, and it would really do a lot for our village.
I think that spot especially, it's very like when you walk by now, it kind of, because the bank is right there and the church is not terribly well lit, it's such a dark little spot, kind of a lot of the energy that you have going on kind of gets lost at night. And hopefully that will add, and make people feel safer to go up and down Bird and Church Street, which can be a little, so.
One more.
Are the same number?
Speak a little bit louder.
Are the same number of people still going to come to
Soup Angel is not changed at all. So Monday and Wednesday, that still happens in the same way that it's always happened. So the whole idea behind the concept is that on Monday and Wednesday, Soup Angels can take place. And that the church is able to use it on Sunday for their service and for some of their holidays. So those are sort of fixed points, so they're not leaving, nobody's leaving. Instead, it's being enhanced, right? So everything is gonna be enhanced. The kitchen will hopefully be renovated, but not with the first pass of Mula. But I think we should work together on that. I think that we could probably get pretty far together on that. So, I mean, we've talked about it, but adding the connection and things like that already, so.
All right, I gotta move this along. Thanks so much, Susan.
All right.
Karen, you're up.
While Karen's coming up, I'm just gonna make sure everybody understands that some of the comments make it seem as if people are. This is all part of the grant application. We have not gotten the grant, so these are all at this point proposals that we're hoping that we can get funded by the state. And we present them as a collection of proposals, which is why you're hearing from a couple of the highlights of the DRI or New York Forward application. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Make sure my son points at your mouth.
May I ask one question just pursuant to that last time? Is it an all or nothing grant? Do you either get like the whole Magilla or?
Yeah, they give you one grant and then they choose from among the programs that you selected. They might say, well, we'll give you this, and but not that.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming this evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So my name is Karen Shovers and I'm here representing Hudson Valley Mural Arts. We are proposing a mural arts program here in Nyack. And my background is that I have been living in the village for over 20 years. And I previously, my last job was, before I was a yoga teacher, I was actually somebody who worked with municipalities and developed public art programs and initiatives. So, and I was also for several years part of the Hopper House Board. I just rolled off, I was on for many years. And that is where this idea sort of was formulated with an artist that I met through the Hopper House fundraiser. And then I told my friend Debbie, who's here, and will introduce herself as well. And we created this idea together.
So, my name is Debbie and, I have been in South Nyack, beg wordings for town, for about 28 years. And, from the first month that we moved here, I was involved in, the elementary school with the plays and the kids, and it was inspiring enough to go on and create the Carol Slaybaugh Fund, which supported kids in need in a big not-for-profit way that expanded into the middle school and high school. I'm proud of that. It gave me the feeling of wanting to contribute more to the community in time, education, and arts. I spent about 10 years trying to work with the community and building an art center in the center of town and creating a mixed-use property where the arts were supported by the retail and had parking, and that whole project took our heart away. It's a little emotional for me being here now, reintroducing the idea of arts. I talked to Karen a lot about, can we do something with education and arts? She met a terrific muralist, because my heart is still in building community through the arts. So here we are continuing that thread that started 28 years ago. The idea of having an arts program that brings in students to be mentored by somebody like Alice, who will speak about, is something very meaningful for everybody while we beautify the community. So we're going to go through the slides. This is, we want to go to number, this is number one. This is a little.
Excuse me, could you just a little bit so that we could kind of show part of it? So, thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, but you can stand next to your friend.
Sorry? So it's it's not the first slide.
Karen wanted me to start from the beginning.
Sorry, this is the way this is the presentation I have, so. You probably sent me more than one.
this is the older one.
So
So,
we have.
okay, all right,
Do you want to tie your, this, you can get the computer?
okay. Okay,
Okay, fine.
so our concept, to begin is that we would like to do, first and foremost is, to make the gateway coming into Nyack more interesting, more vibrant, make more safe for people who are waiting for the bus stop under this, there's that little corner right there, the bus stop. And so this is the first site that we are potentially going to work on. It's we have the artists, we're not sure about the artists at this moment, design and the wall approval, which we're hoping for.
So let me just back up a minute. What we have, the lead artist is Alice. She's a very professional muralist. She's commissioned all over the world. She's in Hawaii right now. She will be the producer of every wall, so she has oversight. She's done education programs. We did our first wall already under Hudson Valley Mural Arts at Clarkstown North. We had some pictures. I'm not sure if they're in this version. But Alice will be overseeing it, and we're opening up the opportunity to local artists to be part of the leading a particular wall. But it will be with our leadership and Alice's artistic direction. When she's not controlling the wall, she will be overseeing the wall. So it's very, very professional. And she's also, as we did in Clarkstown North, and she's done in other places, we have a whole curriculum that we'll talk to you about. 8 sessions that will be offered to the students. Will be an application process. It's like a master class working with the artist with a very specific program. Want to see the next slide?
So this is the Modern Druid, it's the north side, across from the post office, this wall. The owner of the building has given, is very interested in having this wall, to create a mural on this wall. One of the reasons they would like this is they envision that if you're standing at Broadway and Main Street, if you're looking down towards South Nyack, a large mural on this wall would pull foot traffic down the block into, so that people would come and, there'd be more foot traffic. So it increased foot traffic. Also, it's been known to, that murals increase sales in businesses. It brings a lot of vitality into a town. So, she's already interested in having this done, and we are going to be, the artist is going to be Alice, and we're still working on that design for that wall. Okay, so this is the Parker, which is on Depew, and the artist for this would be Brian Hart. And again, it's kind of a similar thing. This is near Pavilion, and again, trying to keep the foot traffic moving. So the architect who they're over here. So some of what you're talking about, this all links into what you're discussing, because it's about a moving trail of walkers, like, oh, here's a mural. And the gentleman here who spoke about the historical pieces, like there's a QR code, an app that we can walk through Nyack and see art, not just murals, but visual arts, sculpture, historical thing, the museum, the Hoover Museum, Parson McCullers, the John Greenhouse, so that it's all a walking, biking trail that people can come, and when they're visiting, they can look at all those things. Site 4 is the DR Pillow Wall. Brand new, beautiful new wall that we got there. That we have talked to the owner of the building. This we envisioned would be sort of kind of tracking down from the underpass as the gateway, and then there would be something here that would be like a welcome to Nyack. And that is something we're still waiting for the owner of the building.
That's the parking lot by Wells Fargo.
It is. Where is it? So this,
That's Broadway. I mean,
that's the view. Yeah, it's the Wells Fargo parking lot. It's,
They just added the second level.
they just added the second level. That's correct. Main Essentials is in that building as well. That's, yeah.
So this is something we're all familiar with. And this is a mural we're all very familiar with, affectionate towards, and also to wish it looked a little bit cleaner. So it's taken a few years for us to work with the community and the historical society and the people involved in the origination of this mural. And we have the approval for this wall to update it. And Alice, who is so creative, is already thinking of plans where you will see some of it behind other images. So it'll have the new while referencing the old in her design. So it's respecting the past, but and acknowledging the history of the arts in Nyack and also looking forward in the future.
Not that one.
No, yeah, that was in my view.
Sorry.
So here's our general timeline. It's all pending some funding. Is there any other slides? Okay. So one of the things we wanted to have confidence in us is that we're very specific about the steps. This is not just casual. First, we gather the wall, then we get the approval, then we go through a process. When the students get involved, Alice leads a workshop where they actually sit and talk about and brainstorm ideas. They create a very rough sketch. With that sketch, the students go to all of the businesses and say, what do you think? Get your input. So the students will learn not only to create a concept, they'll also learn communication skills, talking to to people in the community, presenting here. Part of art is also making it happen. So it's then when it comes, then they'll work on the design a little further. They'll learn color therapy, everything they'll learn about murals. And then when it comes to the actual planning and prepping the wall, they'll be there at the wall with supervision, painting and having the satisfaction of creating public art. So that's something that's very exciting. And it's kind of a rounded program, I think, for the kids. And our plan is to speak to, we've already started this, Nyack High School and Nyack Middle School teachers, RCC, any local community college. We're looking to get applicants, and you're creating an application where the intention of the student is written, why do you want this, what a referral from the teacher, a signature from the parent, and a commitment to participate from beginning to end in the project.
All right, would you involve the Nyack ambassadors? Since the Nyack Center started a program with the Nyack ambassadors.
Absolutely, yeah. We we've reached out to Nyack High School, local students, the Nyack Center students, as well as the Night Hawks from the Hopper House. We are open to any young person who is interested, of a certain age, of course, who are interested in learning about public art and contributing to their community in some way.
No, what I'm saying, like the village already put together, and has Nyack Center. They started a program called, Welcome to Nyack. So their ambassadors walking around, high school, I'm sorry, high school walking around and introducing people to different locations within Nyack. So
it sounds like there's a collaboration ready to have right there. Because the students, the arts, there's only going to be like 8 or so on any wall, or up to 12, depending on the size of the wall. but joining with the ambassadors to present the ideas and walk the community sounds like a fabulous idea. It really does.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's very commendable what you're doing, except for one. Can you put on the soul flight, slide? That one. That's a historical model, the new one, right? Painted by John Gordon. Have you been in touch with his daughters, Faith and,
Yes,
I
we
hope?
have.
Okay, what are their opinions about this?
Okay, so we worked with the Perry family as well as Mike Hayes from the Historical Society. And they spoke with the family, and the family wants to have this honored in a way that it's repaired and restored as well, and honored and modernized.
Okay.
So we do have, like, it is pending in our thing that we have the Historical Society approval and the family's approval as well.
Okay, that's fine.
And there'll be a plaque.
there's gonna be-
acknowledgement.
yes.
We thought, we'll make there'll be a plaque acknowledging the history.
Yes.
It's.
So there's
Oh,
one
there's
interesting
one.
point about this is that the original painting is in the library. So what we plan to do is when this is done, is there will be a QR code at the bottom of the mural referring people to the original painting as well, so that people know that this is an actual real life painting that hangs in the Nyack Library.
Are you gonna modify this now?
It's going to have this painting in the background. We haven't determined, but the plan is to have honor this Hudson Valley painting and update it and restore it and then modernize it in some way.
That's what I realized, like, how are you gonna modernize?
It will look different.
Yeah.
But it will reference the past. So in other words, and it's not designed yet because the program hasn't started. I'm part of a collaboration in creating the final designs. But the concept that has been reviewed with the people involved that you just mentioned is that it sits there and something is put on top of it and you can see it in the background, but it's going to look different. And there's going to be acknowledgement and referral to the original painting. Because to recreate this as is and restore it as is not something that is achievable. So either we leave it like this or cover it. When we decided our goal was to reference it and keep the elements of it there. It's a tough one.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want anybody offended. We want to enhance, right?
Yes. Yes, and the Historical Society, yes. And so, and also the owner of the building, she has been wanting this to be, she has wanted to paint the side of this building for 10 years since she purchased the building, and she's not been able to do anything with this building because it's a historical mural. So she is thrilled to have something happen to this restoration. Yeah. No?
Thank you.
You did a good job of explaining that.
Presenting it.
Okay.
You like the idea?
Love it.
Here. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Karen and Debbie. That was marvelous. So that completes our progress report on the DRI grant application process. There are some other details we're not going to go into now. There will be another public presentation like this one on Thursday at 5. Same place, same, some of the same presenters and some different ones as well. If anybody wants to come out and join that, you're more than welcome to. That's all I've got on this topic, folks. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Oh, there's a hand.
I just want to say, in reference to the QR and, my friends, and I don't know what it is. There is online, you can walk into stars. Somebody in session and it's sometimes another place that we should talk about. So when this comes to be.
All right, thank you all for being here, and for giving your attention to these projects that we just gave for the DRI for our grant application. I'm going to talk about today is something that we are doing. This is actually going to happen in the next couple of months, and it's going to be publicly announced in about a week, where we're going to start the marketing for it, as well as starting soliciting people to buy tickets for some of the parts of the event. It's called the Nyack Holiday Village. The purpose of it is to create an event for all of December, from basically Black Friday through Christmas Day, which is also the first night of Hanukkah, to draw shoppers and diners into Nyack during the holiday season, provide an amazing experience for members of the community, drive tourism. We're not going to do any street closures because we don't want to reduce parking or create any conflicts in that way. And we're going to keep to a tight budget that we're going to be covered by. The budget for the village of this is going to be covered by tourism grant money that we've been allocating based on the hotel tax that we put in place about 3 years ago. And we have been doing grants of about $35,000 to $40,000 twice a year. And so some of the money that would go to those grants is going toward this. So no money that would have otherwise gone to any other programs. It's money that was always allocated toward event programming. And the goal is we really want to help the downtown have a great holiday season. They make their year based on how they do during the holiday season. So here are the 4 elements that we're going to talk about. It's all 4 weekends starting on Black Friday, and then there's 3 more weekends before Christmas/Hanukkah. The first, I'll go through each of these. Winter Wonderland Workshop. That's a drop-off event at the Nyack Center or at the Angel, where families can leave kids from the age of around 5 or 6 up till 15 or over that needs supervision. That they'll be able to stay there. We'll be able to take around 50 kids or so, we think. They'll watch a movie, they'll do some arts and crafts, they'll be occupied for 4 hours during the day. Parents can go shopping and go dining or do whatever they go take a nap if they want, but we really hope they go shopping and dining. Second, we're going to bring Santa Claus to the Hezekiah Easter Square for every Saturday and Sunday between in the 4 weekends. 3, there's going to be something that we're grandly calling a holiday music festival. It's not much of a holiday music festival. It's mostly taking a lot of musical events and putting them into one sort of tapestry of music. And then the Home and Business Decorating Contest, the Winter Wonderland Workshop, number 1. So it's a drop-off program. We're going to sell tickets. $20 per kid is 4 hours of they watch a movie and they have some snacks and they can do crafts and hang around with other kids. And they'll be supervised by the same people that supervise kids at the Nyack Center during the day. These are the same people. Also, there'll be people, there's going to be an element of it that will involve Joe Garefa's Creative Arts Workshop, where he'll be doing things on certain Friday nights. We're not doing it every Saturday and Sunday. There's a couple of weekends we couldn't get the space because it's being used for some other purpose. We are paying for the space. We are paying for the supervision. It's something that the Nyack Center and Angel are doing for us. Yes. And Joe's going to be hosting at the Angel Nyack. So Joe's going to be hosting, who does that kind of stuff for a living. We're going to be experienced people. We're not just putting them in the room and locking the door behind them, and we'll come get them in 4 hours. And we'll see what happens with our little society. And so those are our partners. And the idea is to do something that you can't get at the mall. You go to the mall, you got your kids with you, it's tough to shop because you're dragging the kids around. If they're old enough, you can maybe, they can go to a movie, but most kids, 7, 8, 9, they can go to a movie by themselves. So this gives you an opportunity to supervise. Basically, it's babysitting 4 hours for $20, which is, I have kids, an unbelievable deal for 4 hours of having the kids occupied and having a decent time. If the parents want to go in with the kids, they can go in with the kids. They don't It's not like forced that they have to leave behind, but adults can't come in unless they have a kid with them, obviously. Number two, Santa in the Square, we're gonna do a Santa's workshop in Easter Square with Santa and an elf for kids to get photos with Santa. There's no charge, there's no formal photographer. It will be, the elf will have a camera, they can take photos in case somebody comes without a camera that can take a photo. But it's the parents being able to take photos of the kids, or friends being able to take photos with anybody. I mean, this is for anybody that wants to sit next to Santa and get their picture taken. This is the preliminary logo. This is the first look we've had at the logo at the top, the Nyack Holiday Village. It's using the same font style that the Village of Nyack has in its official iconic typeface. And so what we'll do is we'll use that sort of imagery, and then the bottom half would be Santa in the Square, Holiday Music Festival, Winter Wonderland, et cetera, will be each of the kind of bottom pieces of the logo. And the idea is to give a Santa experience that's cheaper and easier at the mall. It'll be a lot quicker because you're not trying to do formal photos with photographers setting up lights and everything like that. I mean, it's nicer if you go to the mall. You have there'll probably be a much larger decorative layout, but it costs you a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. And this is, you walk up and you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to buy tickets for it. You just go up, take a picture with Santa. We already bought the bench. We got a bench for it. We were very thrifty with the bench. We got a bench for about $300. The official Santa thrones and benches were like $1,500. But if you just say, well, I just want a big red bench, they were like $300. So we got like a big red bench. We're just going to call it Santa's throne. And we're going to do it from 1 to 3. And then we're going to offer some nonprofit groups if they want to do an extra hour for themselves and basically have the space. Particularly, I'm thinking of if Pride wants to do something for an hour, they've already agreed to do it. If NAACP have offered it to them, they want to do something. If people want to do a Santa geared for particular, if there's a Latino group or Latinx group in the community that wants to do a Spanish speaking Santa, that would be from 3 to 4. So it'd be a set time. They could go and do that. And then 1 to 3 would be more the traditional Santa experience. Yes. Sure. Just speak up loud so they can hear you at the board.
Having a concept to that, that's a great idea, but also like sliding in, since Orangetown sells Christmas trees, during that period of time, Empire sells Christmas trees.
The fire department sells Christmas trees.
Chelsea does cookie sales at that time, so it's also a way to get everyone to utilize the fire department as they're doing Santa. Like, remember when
Oh, you want to put the Santa's the tree sales on the agenda?
yeah, right,
Sure.
because those companies are selling the trees during the whole December season.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to even bring trees over to Easter Square, we can put trees in Easter Square and people can buy them when they're in the square because there'll be a lot of action there. But we will certainly put on the formal program the idea that you can buy trees at the various places in Niagara. You can buy trees. That's a great idea. Could you?
Same like the cookies that got dropped off at your house, remember?
Yeah, exactly. And here, could you email me a reminder or text me or something? If you don't mind, then come to me at the end just to, I'm going to forget because I'm up here. All right, so that's the Santa in the Square. He's going to be set up once the chamber does the holiday lights on the tree. The tree will be there and be up, and then there'll be a Santa's chair that we'll bring out. It's light enough that we can bring it out. It's right now in my office. I put it together today, and we'll bring it out to the square. Bring it in. If it's raining and we can't do it outside, we'll find a place to do it inside. We'll just move it to the inside. Number 3, the music festival is just a grand way of saying that we're going to be encouraging bars and restaurants to do holiday music events out there at bars and restaurants. That they have this musician, just tell them come in and play the 40 holiday songs that everybody likes. Just play them or play whatever, play originals, who cares? Whatever they want to do, just holiday music. And we're going to take that, we're going to make a calendar out of it. We're going to add in all the musical events that are already scheduled by all the different church groups and all community groups. Anything that's happening that relates to music in the village will be on this calendar and will be part of the music festival if they want it to be part of the music festival. And on top of that, we're going to program 4 events in Easter Square on Saturdays after the Santa in the Square, which is over 4. At 4:30, we're going to set up and we're trying to get Rock Shop and Maureen's to each program 1 90-minute segment. It could be a recital by the Rock Shop students. Maureen's might bring somebody out. We'll get them set up and they can take up that hour and a half. I've reached out to Nyack High School about programming an hour of music. They must do a holiday program at the high school. So whatever they're doing for the holiday program, if they want to come and do it on the streets of Nyack for an hour in the afternoon on a Saturday, they can do that. And we're gonna have one day where it's gonna be organized carol. You come out, we'll have the caroling books and we'll walk through the downtown with red hats and we'll carol for all the businesses and things like that. And Louise Newsome, who was here last week, she's going to be organizing the bars and restaurants. She's just going to be putting the calendar together because it's a lot of work, kind of corralling all those people together. And then number 4, holiday decorating contest. No one will do what is on the screen. That is the North Pole Airport. That is the famous house that gets done every year up in New City. But I did talk to what's the guy's name who does it? What's his name? I'm friends with him. I'm blanking right now because I'm terrible with names. The guy who does that is going to be a judge in our contest. And we're going to encourage businesses to decorate their store windows, and we'll have a prize for the best decoration that will be voted on. There'll be a prize for online voting by the public, and then there'll be a prize for the judge voting. And at the same time, there will be one for residents. And this will be for all the Nyacks. We'll do it for Upper and South. That if you decorate your house and you want to be on the map, you'll be on the map, and we'll put the map out publicly and people can drive around. After they come into town, the lights go down. After they finish dinner, they can drive around and look at the things, and they can also vote on their phones as to which of the places they liked. It won't be a vote to pick one. It'll be a vote for everyone you liked. You just check on the ones you like. So it's more like be positive about the ones you like and don't say anything about the ones you don't. Because otherwise people, you end up with like one. The last time we did a decorating contest, there was one business had like 8,000 votes and the nearest had like 40 because that person just had, I don't know, or maybe they had 8,000 fans. I don't know. It was one or the other. We'll have some prizes. It'll be a fun decorating contest. So everybody's eligible who has a place they can decorate in the village, and all the business will be, and we're gonna have some nice prizes. We're allocating about $1,500 for prizes, so there'll be some nice prizes for people that participate. Which one? So yeah, anybody in the vicinity. It's just that the map can't take people too long because then the problem is with the map, if you make it too wide, you're not gonna be able to see the different pins on it. Our proposed budget is about $10,000 from Nyack Tourism Grant Funding, $2,500 for the event organizer who's handling the music festival and some other things as well as part of that, $5,000 for the Winter Wonderland, venue rentals. It'll be a little more than that, but I'm not counting the fact that we're selling tickets at $20 a pop, and we might completely offset whatever the venue rental costs us. We're taking the risk of selling the tickets, not the venue, but we might offset our whole cost because the venue rentals, it's not just the only cost. We're going to go to Costco and load up on, snacks and stuff like that and juice boxes and all those things. But we're trying to keep it to $10,000 of what we spend minus or $15,000 after we collect what we collect on the ticket sales for the Winter Wonderland. So that's the plan. 4 different things: the drop-off event, Santa in the Square, the music, and the decorating contest. And this is all, you're gonna start hearing about this publicly in the next couple of weeks. And that's the presentation that I failed to give you a couple of weeks ago when I had it written, but I didn't get a chance to do it. Any questions, comments? Nobody?
If given for the meeting, if given gifts.
In terms of, well, yes, that will be incorporated within all the stuff that gets done normally as part of the holiday season. That's a good idea. We'll incorporate that into the program as well as places you can give money. Yeah, absolutely.
Joe's actually building something in for keeping those, for the activities that are happening. So it'll be like a donation. People can also donate things.
Yeah, we'll absolutely put that's a great idea to make sure that we put into the program event. Here's links to give this people to get into that spirit, and we want to make sure to give.
Yeah.
So there'll be some way to get to that, to get maybe a page on a website that you can then donate through to different organizations in Nyack. Churches and the churches as well. I will just tell you, I have a list that I update every year, and I put it out on Facebook and I put it out publicly. You can find it if you look at the welovenyack.com page. It has a list of every nonprofit in Rockland County and a link to donate to them. And what I'll do is I'll just take the ones that are Nyack based or that do a lot of business in Nyack, like people's not in Nyack, but they do a lot in Nyack. So does the Center for Safety and Change and some of those. So I'll put all those into the list, and we'll make it a more formal part of the presentation of the online version of the Santa, the holiday season. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I do put that list out, but this is a good opportunity to take that list and incorporate it into the holiday village concept. Anything else? Yes.
Oh, no, I thought you had a question.
Oh, okay. Anybody else?
Yep.
I thought I misunderstood, but I was thinking more of a place to drop black toys.
Toys.
Oh,
That's a great idea. We'll make that part of the kid drop off. Yeah, we'll make that, we'll talk to some of the groups that do that, and we'll make sure the boxes are at. People does that massive toy drive, but they're usually done like a month before. Those are usually wrapped up around Thanksgiving, because I've done the collection of those. But we could get we could collect, what we'll do is we'll collect them at the Angel and at the, when people drop their kids off, they're in a mood to kind of do that. And we'll remind them, hey, if you want to go out and buy a gift for, that you get wraps for somebody's kid, that you could do that and buy that in Nyack while you're here, like with your people and things. So that's good. Thank you for layering that. I've been thinking in a very mercenary way about this, so it's good for me to be reminded of my other aspects. Yeah.
Gift wrapping center.
We looked at a gift wrapping center, and it's just, it was originally part of the plan, as was an online shopping thing, as well as a gamification of people. If you shop in 4 stores and you spend more than $25, you'd be eligible for raffle tickets. There were things that we cut off just simply because of, let's execute on this plan, and then we can layer in things next year. That I love the holiday wrapping, but the moving parts of holiday wrapping are very complicated. And it requires people to bring stuff to a particular place, because you can't offer it on site. A lot of the shops do wrapping of their gifts at the shop, so it's not as absolutely necessary.
The mall has it. They
Mall
keep
has-
wrapping up the mall during the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a much bigger budget than we do.
No, I know, but I'm saying that like,
If you
we don't
want-
have those resources,
No.
but there is a location.
There is a place to do that, and it's just that we had it on the list, and it was just, it's. We don't have a staffing to add much more to what we're doing. The stuff we're doing is very labor intensive as it is, and it's not a lot of people working on it.
I do have a question. So the decorating part, I know that the high school kids decorate for Halloween. Are we putting that out there to potentially, so that they can, propose their artwork to the businesses, and that business can particularly.
It's a great idea.
I can hear you. No,
I said there's a window contest going on.
Well, it could be both, they can have both.
well, that's the whole point. They can compete that way.
Yeah.
So just to kind of bring the kids into the fold, so that they're competing amongst themselves, but they can actually have the business owner, kind of.
Structure's already there for Halloween.
Yeah, I
Right,
think
yeah.
that's a great idea, because I think that the businesses, a lot of them would love to have the help to do that. I mean, mostly they do the windows, right? They draw on the windows.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that some of the businesses will do a little bit more than just draw on the windows, but they can certainly, if they did, listen, I would love every business to participate, even if they're not really competing for a prize, but just to make it very festive as you walk down. But I think it's a really good, who runs that program?
It's the art center, the art department. The art department.
Is that Joe, is he still there? Joe Finko? Is he still there? He's not there
I
anymore.
think he's just, but it's a place then, yeah.
I'm getting to the point that my contacts are all retiring from their various roles. That's a signal. That's a signal, Andy. But we'll find out who runs that, and I will certainly, when we get the information out to the businesses, to say, hey, if you want to decorate your business, here's an option to go do that. That you can find students that might want to do it and be a part of it. And, just if you win, then you.
Well, you figure that out, yeah. You figure that part out.
Bring that on. Anything else? All right, we have a couple other things on our agenda. And thank you all for being here and giving us such helpful feedback on the programs that we were discussing today. We do have to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Can I get that, a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Any comment, Joe? Any comments, anybody else? Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
No one has any more comments for the minutes? Okay, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries. Our action item of the day is the audited voucher summary, resolution 2024-148. Can I get on the table?
Second.
Any questions or comments about the audit? Shh. I would ask people if they're gonna be leaving to take their conversations outside because we're still having the meeting. We have it on the table. Any questions or comments about the audited voucher summary? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Departmental reports, let's just go right to the village administrator.
I actually,
Did you grab the mic?
oh, I have that.
Share the mic, Pascal.
Yeah, I had sent around a revised agenda that had one other action item.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm looking at
But
that
I'm
online.
sorry because we revised it and you're probably looking at the one that was posted before or something. But in any case, it's a simple one, which is the agreement with public sector HR for the development of an employee handbook for the village. Most villages have an employee handbook. This village does not. It has things like your workplace violence policy, your IT, avoiding hackers and scammers policy, and other kinds of things that come up. I'd like the chance to work with this professional consulting group to make such a manual for our people in Village Hall and at our DPW and water department. The cost is $6,500. I have shopped around a little bit. Our village attorney, our consulting labor attorney does offer a similar service for a little less money, but it's not as much, you don't get as much because public sector HR will work with you for a year and give you an unlimited amount of feedback and opportunities to update your handbook and so on without charging you extra. So it's a fairly large undertaking, but it's something that our staff wants to do.
I think, Joe said, and we probably didn't hear him, that he's surprised they don't have one, which sort of surprises me as well. So this is probably a worthwhile endeavor.
It's one of those things that's been overdue for a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of like fundamental things that you want to get done. All right, so the resolution is to allocate $6,500 to the and to approve the contract with this firm that will.
Right, public sector HR to
And
work
that's,
with
and
us.
that's 2024-149.
Yes.
Any comment? Can I get this motion on the table?
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions? I'm sorry that I didn't, I pulled the agenda off.
That's all right.
this
I know
today.
that's-
All right, any comments or questions? No, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We don't have a motion for it. We wanted to advise that, advise the board that we have had a conversation with a DRI consultant who's a grant writer named Thomas, what's his name? Densmore? Choice Words?
Densmore.
Densmore.
Yeah.
And he's very highly recommended from all the economic development groups as being very good. Now, he doesn't have time to write our DRI application, but he does have time to consult with it. He's willing to consult with us for under his normal rate of about, he would give us about $200 an hour. He's allocated 30 hours if we need it. We may, or 15 hours if we need it. We may not need 15 hours. If we do, I'd like to just get a verbal okay that we can work with him, and if we spend up to $3,000, it's authorized to get the DRI. It's 2,000 times 15 hours. It's $200 times 15 hours. $200 times 15 hours is $3,000.
And we have that.
And we may not use them for the full 15, but I'd also like to get to know him a little bit because he might be able to help us with some other grants, including next year's. We'll start the process for next year's, in case we don't get it, next year's DRI as well. Is everybody generally okay with that? I just wanted to get nods. We don't have a resolution, but it's not a lot. It's not a huge amount of money. He has an unbelievable track record. He's had 3 or 4 people. If you want to go Choice Words, just Google it. He's had Densmore is his name. They've had a number of successful DRI applications that have gone through their company. He really does. All right, so if everybody's okay with that, Andy, your report.
Thanks. I'm gonna keep it short. I just wanted to note that through the good works of our sustainability committee and Health in the Village Board, we did hit the 9,000 point threshold in the Clean Energy Communities rating system. That positions the village for about $365,000 of grants. The goal is to make Village Hall a net zero emissions building with a rooftop solar, a heat pump system instead of this air conditioning system, and a general upgrade in energy efficiency and insulation. It's pretty exciting. We have had an energy audit. We've got people up on the roof designing our new roof, which is already funded in part at least through a grant. And so there's real kudos deserved for Steve Sia, Marcy Denker, and the others who are working on that committee. We also have been positioned for about $265,000 in grants for solar arrays. We're looking at the top of Head Start. If that one goes through, we'll be able to actually reduce Head Start's electricity bill and credit towards the Village of Nyack electricity bills at the same time. The top of the DPW, where the solar array would help pay the cost of upgrading that roof, which needs to happen. And we're looking at one other location, possibly the water treatment plant, to be determined. But in any case, some good things happening on the sustainability front.
On the roof, did that help us with this ceiling of the?
So if the roof project, which we have $140,000 in state funding committed for, it's going to cost a fair amount more than that. So we're going to have to go back to the treasure chest and figure out how to close the gap. The roof is being designed right now, and it will be designed in conjunction with the energy efficiency upgrades, which will change the way the HVAC system works. It will move certain mechanicals off the roof and open up opportunities for the solar array on the roof and so on. So those three projects go together in terms of their design. The roof project will eliminate these kind of skylights. There's three of them. There's one in the hallway, which are basically energy sucking skylights. And it will also require some ceiling work. It'll give us a chance to go in and put LED lights in the ceiling as well. It will be disruptive.
The air conditioning.
The air conditioning will be very different.
I hope so. Because I can barely hear you, even with the microphone. I mean, the thing is like so loud.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So it will be quiet. That's what I'm hearing.
And the windows will.
I don't know exactly what it's gonna be like, to be honest. I know it's a heat pump system, but it'll still have air ducts and fans and so on.
Wow.
So we'll make sure the designers are aware of the need. We also have a cost proposal for an audio system for the room,
Yes, thank God.
which is kind of pricey, and so I'm trying to get a couple other competing quotes. And when I have three of those, I'll bring it to the board and we can talk about it.
So that I have to get hearing aids, which I have to get anyway.
Or an ear trumpet.
Well, if the new one is any louder, then we might have like serious issues.
I mean, to be honest, even when you talk into the microphone, I can't hear you.
Well, remember, the speaker faces.
Yeah, the speaker's over here.
It's for the audience point as well.
I think we need more karaoke machines.
Come on.
No,
Start singing.
we don't need more.
Looking forward to you.
It shouldn't even be on sale. Why is it not?
Well, then he likes stuffy, and he went to open the window and shoot for it later in the board.
There's a fire.
No,
Hey, I'm here. Don't say that, you're here. If there's a fire, let's bring this one open. You gotta get us all out that door.
We'll go out the windows.
Just break it for us.
I also wanted to remind the board that the next round of the Nyack Tourism Grant is opening. Applications are due in November, and there's a sort of well-honed process now for accepting and working with and kind of honing applications towards final fundable projects. So that's open. So thank Thomas Schneck for that. He's done a great job.
He does a great job.
Yeah, he really does. He's like this.
Anything else?
That's it. Thanks.
Can I make a proposal? Sure. Talking about the holiday village. Has the village ever done a holiday party for the village employees?
Yes, actually, the mayor hosted one last year, which was a lot of fun.
I was gonna say, but it's the mayor's job to host them at his
It's
house.
not the mayor's job. There's only one mayor, as far as I know in history, who has done it, and that was me.
Yeah.
And we only had like 20 people show up because they all, you know, I wasn't the mayor, so it wasn't even the mayor's job. You know what it was?
I was
It
there.
was the deputy mayor's job. I was deputy mayor.
No, but I'm serious about having.
We should definitely have one.
Even here in the hall, maybe to have a small party for the village employees, their families. It'd be a nice gesture.
We,
I can dig it.
we've talked about, there's, I think that they, in the past, what they've done is they've just had like an open bar at a place in town.
Yeah.
Which I, what, you have a comment?
No, we were just kibitzing.
Is that?
We were just kibitzing.
Oh, okay. Lynn hasn't been here long enough to know what the history is. Well, why don't we find out what they've done in the past? Because, I mean, I'd be happy to have people over, but I'm also happy to support one of the local businesses by, throwing an event there and just having everybody go and we'll just chat and we'll pick a weeknight after, get some appetizers, get some apps and get some, do an hour or two of open bar and whatnot. I think that's great.
So we're clear, we're doing a resolution for an open bar at the mayor's house
So
every year.
Open bar at Mayor's houses, I don't charge people for drinks in my home. But we're thinking about doing it, we could do it like, for example, they have a nice upstairs space at Prohibition they just opened up.
So I have been cautioned in the past.
It's on its way.
Not to use tax dollars to throw a party for staff. So I'm not sure exactly how to navigate that. I don't want to have expectations. Because we all think it's a nice idea that we can just execute on that in the way we might like to see. So I will talk with our treasurer and our village attorney. We will come up with a way to celebrate.
We'll find some way to do it. We'll find something to do it. Listen, as long as the building department approves my renovations in time, but I can actually move back into half my house, then maybe we could do it. Okay, that's a great idea. Thank you for bringing that up. This is the right time to bring it up. We have a month or two to plan it now. That's good. Anything else from the village administrator and
I have
department reports?
one other thing, and that is the Pride Center has a late request for a street closure.
Yes.
Two dates. They're not specific about the first one. Although I'm familiar with the layout because I think we did it when we dedicated Jackson Ave. There was a side street closure with some room in front of the building. I'm comfortable working with the Pride Center on this if the board will give me the support and coming up with a date, probably sometime before your next meeting, and a plan.
That's for the ribbon cutting.
For the ribbon cutting, yeah.
And then they're having a party on November
16th.
November 16th is the Pride Ball. That's at their location. It's supposed to be a patriotic theme, and I think they want a street closure for that day as well.
Yeah, I'll work with them on both of these.
Okay.
I want to make sure that they're safe. And I'm not exactly sure what the layout is yet. We haven't really had a chance to talk. I just learned about it today.
Everyone okay with, I think we'll all support the idea that I think they just want to close Jackson Avenue, but outside their building.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to us if there's anything extensive. If they're doing a block party, we gotta know about it before it sort of goes too far.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they don't, so that's it. All right, anything else from you, Andy? No other items? Going once.
Oh, there's a calendar on your desk.
Yes.
We all.
These are the proposed dates. When do we approve them?
Well, we could do it on October 24th if everybody looks at the calendar and I have one.
Yeah, you have one date, June 12th, that you'd like to move. We usually have the second and then fourth Thursdays. In June, you asked to move to June 5th because you'll be away the week of June 12th, which at this point. So
that would work.
If anybody,
Trustee
go look at your
Lightfoot.
schedule for anything that you have that's currently a conflict. I would ask that I might bring up the fact that August 14th is my anniversary and
You might bring
I
that
might bring that up because I might want to stay married, after August 14th. If we could skip to the 21st on that. But everybody just look at your schedule and see if there's anything that comes up, shoot it out to Andy, and Andy will circulate the different objections to us. The 6th is that is the required by the code, it's our organization day. Can we wait to the 6th to do that?
The 6th is when it has to happen. That's the annual meeting.
It has to happen by then. Oh, look, Mr. Dennis.
That's not a deadline. That's not a deadline. That is the night.
It's the first Monday of the year.
First Monday of the year, perfect, okay, that's good.
It's not January first, that's the next.
All right, so that is our special meeting where we renew all of our, I think, do we do oaths of office for the people who are returning?
And we appoint land use boards.
Yeah, we reappoint everybody, we reappoint the general news, we do all those things.
Clerks, stuff like that.
Flexibly done in December for the past 2 years.
Because nobody wants to have an extra meeting in January.
So maybe that means we're
No
not,
one wants to have a meeting in January.
maybe that means we're not actually meeting on the 9th.
We're not gonna be on that, we're just gonna have.
I
a
mean, I think we
meeting
could just do the 6th and the 23rd.
And do a regular meeting, okay, so to cross off the 9th. You have that date back in your life,
What, January?
the 9th, January 9th. You're gonna meet on the 6th. We'll do everything on the 6th, do the regular meeting plus the organization meeting.
Oh. The 6th might be an issue.
The January 6th?
Yeah.
Oh, it might be an issue for you,
Right, but it
the Monday.
depends, yeah.
The Monday.
Right.
Yeah, we need a quorum,
We do need a quorum and
which is at least 3 people.
you,
So if you lose her, you can only lose one of her.
well, if we have to, we can move to one of the days on the 2nd or 3rd, we can do it on one of those days if we have to. But obviously not ideal because people will be away. All right, next issue, I'm just gonna, we had a meeting today with people from Akata and the Chamber of Commerce to talk about street fairs next year. Joe Carlin was there with me, Andy was there. They had a few representatives to talk about things that an issue that we wanted to raise with them about how the street fairs manage the existing businesses. It was a productive meeting. We're gonna meet again. But I did say to them, while we're kind of working out the kinks of the proposals that we made to them, we would approve the dates. And we're not gonna do it by resolution tonight. We'll set it by resolution next time, but I'm just gonna give you the dates again. For next year, April 13th, September 7th, May 18th, July 13th, and October 12th. Those are the dates, and I told them to plan as if those dates will be approved. I don't see any problem with the actual dates themselves. Are we okay?
Those are, with those 5 dates?
Those are the 5 dates that they requested.
Yeah.
That's it. So I told them to go ahead with those dates. Anything you want to say about that since it's about your issue? No? All right. Roger? No? All right. Communications, anything communications? Andy?
No.
Nothing else? Okay. We have public comments on any topic. You have up to 2 minutes. Any topic if you want to take your public comment time. Any takers? Nope. We don't have an executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Sounds like the ayes carried. Everybody, good meeting. Thank you all for being here. Motion adjourned. Or meeting adjourned.
This might be the fastest meeting you've ever been to.
Yeah, it'll never be faster for you.
So the one meeting I missed,
This something was 2 hours. Wasn't that short?
Yeah, because me and Linda just talked earlier about how this meeting needs to be 45 minutes.
I know. Well, we have the presentation.
I was just looking at the spot like, it's 8.
You brought to 45 minutes.
I know.
This
I
is
made
you make that
no January 9th. I heard
From the ladies'
no
side,
January-
so-
No, January 9th.
It'll be January 6th.
Correct,
Wait, this-
or 9.
This thing turned
Well,
off.
I say first Monday.
Not yet. Thank you for asking.